we recap and review everything that happened at Wrestle Crusade Reckoning. A report on Johnny Champion as he travels the globe looking for more world titles. And we hear from Magic Magdalena after her Ramona KFC Championship loss. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ricky Sable, and welcome back to Wrestle News Weekly. Now it's been quite a while since I've had a chance to talk to you all today, and a lot has happened in the last few weeks. We've had Wrestle Crusade Reckoning, we've had the Wrestle Crusade Reckoning press conference, and that's pretty much it. But within those two events, so much news, so much has happened, and let's get down to it. Let's start off with a recap of everything that happened at Wrestle Crusade Reckoning, the latest, biggest pay-per-view show that we just recently had. So we started off the show with Flippy Felipe versus Super Lucha. This match had been building for quite some time, and the two went at it in a very flip-heavy, gymnastics-heavy spectacle, with Flippy Felipe eventually getting the win. Our next match was planned to be the arm breaker match between Lulu the Crazy Chicken and Professor Fart. And before the match could go underway, Boo Boo returned on crutches, but he seemed to be okay. His injury is now no more, and he is fully back in action and ready to beat up Lulu, and beat up Lulu he did. Now these two have had a long history of mistrust and issues, and it looks like it's almost time to see them fight once again in the future. Next up we had the 10-man gauntlet match to honor Baghead. The winner of this match would receive a contract to wrestle for the Ramona KFC Championship at any time of their choosing. There were a lot of entrants, a lot of returns, a lot of special guests, and a lot of surprises in this match, but at the very end, it was the General who would come away winning the Ramona KFC Championship contract. After this ordeal, we moved on to the tag team tables match between the Ghostbusters and the Invisible Boys. It was a hard-fought battle between both parties, but in the very end, it was the Ghostbusters who picked up the win, winning their debut match. After the match, though, they were attacked by what seemed to be the Invisible Boys, and a little help from an audience member as well, who was escorted out the building shortly after. Next up, our owner and founder, Mr. Boss, came with the disheartening news that the next Supercharged Wrestling show will be the last. It will be called The Last Showdown, and more on that later. Next up, we had the very deadly pollution match between Normal Steve and Karate Chop. Karate Chop had to fight his best friend Normal Steve in a very hard-fought war, and it was Karate Chop who got the victory in the end, only to be blindsided by Gunnar Jones. He left him with this message:
"You may have defeated my partner, but I'm not done with you. I'll only be done with you when you can never walk again. So at the final Supercharged Wrestling show, I challenge you to a Falls Count anywhere."
Next up, we had the first championship match of the night. Magic Magdalena defended her Ramona KFC Championship against Derek Dungeon. Much like the previous match before, it was filled with supernatural elements, as these two are very supernatural in their own right. But in the end, it was Derek Dungeon who became the new Ramona KFC champion, only until the General showed up, blindsided Derek Dungeon, and became the new Ramona KFC champion. We had 3 champions in the same night. What a night for the General. And lastly, but surely not least, it was the 30-minute Iron Man match to determine who would become the Supercharged Wrestling World Champion. Johnny Champion defended against Mr. Crazy, and this was an all-nighter, and quite possibly the match of the night, and quite possibly the match of Supercharged Wrestling's history. It was truly a spectacle to behold. But in the end, it was the same old story. Johnny Champion got the win after 2 falls. Will Johnny Champion's reign ever end? I do not know. With only one show closing in, it's not very likely. And there you have it, folks. That is the entire rundown of what happened at Wrestle Crusade Reckoning. You can watch that, as well as the post-press conference at the link in the description, in case you want to watch everything for yourself. And I recommend that you do. Now, we talked a little bit about the Ramona KFC Championship beforehand, and we must talk about the person who lost the championship first, and that was Magic Magdalena. Here we are. We're going to go live to Magic Magdalena and her thoughts about the whole ordeal.
I have lost my title. I have nothing. I am sorry, my people, for letting you down. I am nothing. I can't defend the title. I can't keep anything. My big pork chop, he ran away. What do I have? Nothing. You were my only hope. And you're not even real. I can't. Quit the cameras. Cut them.
A very somber tone there for Magic Magdalena, as she just lost her first championship. Well, but as Supercharged Wrestling rules state, every champion who loses the title is guaranteed a rematch. So, and seeing as there's only one Supercharged Wrestling show left, it looks like Magic Magdalena is going to have another chance to regain her title. Now, Johnny Champion, as we heard from the Wrestle Crusade press conference, has been traveling abroad, and he's going to be traveling from country to country, kind of on a global tour. He says there's not really much left for him to do here in Supercharged Wrestling, so why not go elsewhere and win more titles, as if he doesn't have enough already. I know I'm supposed to say partial and all this, but my goodness, does the man have a lot of championships. Well, he just landed in MJPW, Mega Japan Pro Wrestling, where he faced off against the world champion Cinnamon Roll Sammy. Johnny Champion beat Cinnamon Roll Sammy and won the MJPW World Championship. And to quote him after the match, "Cinnamon Roll Sammy, you're one of the best wrestlers I've ever faced. Unlike Mr. Crazy, who didn't have the guts to beat me. This belt proves I'm the greatest wrestler in the world. And if you have any doubts in your mind, this is what greatness looks like." It's hard to challenge that, and Johnny Champion has the accolades to prove it. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about our Wrestler of the Week. This week's Wrestler of the Week is The General. Although he lost his debut match at the exhibition match at the final stand, he certainly beat 9 other opponents in the Baghead Memorial Gauntlet to become the new Ramona KFC champion, in which he cashed in later that night. The General is going to have great success in the future, and in fact, we're going to hear from him next week. So, get ready for that, ladies and gentlemen. One man who made quite the exceptional debut here on Supercharged Wrestling at our last show, Wrestle Crusade Reckoning, happens to be that of Skull Master. Skull Master, a former world champion in AWC, otherwise known as Awesome Wrestling Craziness, made his big debut here on Supercharged Wrestling just a few weeks ago. Now, let's go to Skull Master. I am Skull Master. And the last time any of you guys saw me, I was world champion of AWC Awesome Wrestling Craziness. So technically, I'm still the world champion. And as a world champion, I deserve world champion rights. So here at Supercharged Wrestling, I expect to be treated as one. And because I lost the Baghead Memorial Gauntlet, and because I lost my debut match, I'm gonna come back harder and stronger as ever. So this is your warning, everybody out there in the Supercharged Wrestling locker room, because Skull Master is back. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching the show. Good to hear from Skull Master as well, and good to see you all over again. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, if you want to subscribe. If you want to follow us on Instagram, follow us at Supercharged Wrestling. Don't forget to visit our website as well. Well, my name is Ricky Sailboat. Have a great night, everybody.